Yeah, I can't really say whether if you pull crystals out, I don't know what happens. I'd assume that it doesn't like cause everything else to vanish, but I'd assume that like Code Gorilla or whoever did that knows, but I honestly I couldn't tell you. All right, let me give this a shot. Start in 3, 2, 1, go. So starting to seed here, especially a Gal start. So I think the most interesting thing there is that throw is there. No attack. I don't need attack. I have throw. No, I'm feeling pretty good about this start because throw on both on 2 characters is plenty to get through pretty much anything. Stunner's handy. So I'm really thinking about where do I find ammunition in it. Yeah, how are you guys doing? Hopefully you're having a good Saturday. You can make the case I should have just sold Stunner for Super Balls. I'm waiting to see where I'm at with ammunition first. Like right now, I think I'd rather have 20 bolt edges than 1 Super Ball. You could make the case the opposite, but how's the how are Yeti shenanigans? I haven't even heard anything from I mean, characters don't matter. It's throw as an ability is what actually like catches my attention here. Clues work on some things. So what's when's the big rollout? We'll just say it that way. So my biggest thing right now is just find earrings. If I can find earrings, then I pretty much have my setup. I can just go. So yeah, with this kind of start, I mean, you lean into whatever abilities you have. If I didn't have abilities, I'd be looking for just the simple offense. So starting off, in this case, I'm looking at like what espers can I find? If I could get 1 or 2 espers that kick off the seed and get stat bonuses, I could take bad characters and make them into good characters. Stat bonuses are what solve your problems more than anything. Like you could take really bad characters, and if they have the right stat bonuses, then all of a sudden they become what you need them to be. So like this Strago and this Go-Go, both with throw, like that's a solid combination. So I'm doing this mostly because I want to roll through the item shop, and I just want to see if the item shop has schemes for me. If I was skipping the item shop, I wouldn't have taken the secret path there. Yeah, I can't use any of that. So yeah, at this point, I'm really thinking more about like production of power more than anything. Nutkin suit's really big. You might not think so, but like that's a really good find. Gao is a natural user of Snow Muffler. so like that would be a good thing to get. But right now, it's more important for me to get something like fire rods. The circlet was for Strago, so I got the circlet so that I could try to build up his magic power as much as possible. I'm gonna assume that he can wear Nuckin suit, so Nuckin suit and circlet would get his magic power up to a decent spot. I'd say situationally, yeah. On average, probably not. In terms of Nuckin suit being better than force armor. And the reason why is just because of the cut and damage. Like, getting a huge cut in magic damage is actually really valuable. And Nuckin suit doesn't really contribute to that other than bio, which isn't like a pervasive ability that like everybody's going to be using poison damage. Atma weapon's interesting. So I really don't have a lot to sell, unfortunately, but I'm still going to look at Zen Thief just to know where I stand with Zen Thief. Otherwise, I'm going straight to the Velt to take my first checks, try to get a few espers, and then Serpent Trench makes a lot of sense here. I could go Burning House, but it's a lot less risky to do Serpent Trench. $26 grand's like on the upper end of what I might be able to swing. Crap. So that's not a bad result. It's a little scary that I sacrificed all my ethers and all my X potions, but I'd rather do that than anything else. So early game, it's not a bad idea to sacrifice a few of your healing items, elixirs, megas, stuff like that, just to give yourself a little bit of a head start. So if there's something that you really, really want to buy, the more aggressive you should be in selling stuff like that. Because like the odds are you'll get more as you go through the speed, especially if you loot a decent amount. So there were certain things that I didn't sell that I'd say a lot of people would have. Yeah, so that Magic plus 2 Esper is a game changer, especially at this point in the seed. I want to go Google Charm there. So, yeah, I mean, Strength plus 2 and Magic plus 2. I have the ability to decide at this point whether Strago is a physical or magic thrower. So it's a huge start. Now, I would say most likely, Strago ends up as a magic thrower. I'd rather use physical throw on, or I'd rather use a strength esper on somebody with a, basically somebody who could wear that Atma weapon would be the best case scenario here. The one thing that I didn't do is I should have looked and seen what inventory full of schemes. mean, I got what I got. I have to also keep in mind that I have basically Moogle Cup experience. So Moogle Cup has higher experience per fight. So that's also going to help me out here. Excuse me. I think I muted in time, but if I didn't, apologize. Oh, I forgot. That's rude. So I always go right here, especially with the early trench, so that I can take the minute here to heal. So like I'm level 3, one bad fight, like acid rings, sandstorm, whatever, would be a problem. So I went this way to basically do that. Yeah, I always go right and then left. Left, now that I'm like full health, like I'm just getting some extra grind fights in. And what a grind fight. Might be the best grind fight in the game, honestly. Yeah, if you do this like mid to late game, like it makes a lot more sense to go left. But if you're doing this early game, it almost always makes sense to go right, take the heal, and give yourself the break. Yeah, Ogres are gross. I mean, you can always take advantage of Ogres in terms of... I mean, they are weak to Revivify, if I remember right. They're that one. Or no, wait, sorry. Orogs are the ones that are weak to Revivify. They're undead. Ogres are just terrible. You run from Ogres if you see them. Unless you just can insta-kill them. So that's where my strength +2 sits, especially with the Atma weapon in hand. So egg would be great, obviously. Atlas armlet would be huge. You can make the case that I should try to buy those. Wait, were there schemes there and I just didn't see it? Yeah, I don't have the time to figure that out. Exactly. I mean, if you can turn a bad character into a good character, just go ahead and do it. The Ice Shield. So, with where I'm at money wise, it didn't make sense for me to chase that very hard. I actually want. So, I want to get Ice 3 on Straga, and I want to get more schemes. So, I put Edgar in the front of my party to check this. I'm actually good, believe it or not. I would suspect that, I mean, with lore, you could make the case that she's better than other people I have in the party. I would say I'm doing this because I feel pretty confident, not because it's the optimal move. So, if that realm had a Grand Train, it would have been much better to grab the Grand Train. Grab realm. Probably for Gal. Good. Just getting out of here. So I heard somebody say that water edges are the worst edges. And water edges are really good. Like, there's a lot of situations where you hit weaknesses you can't hit otherwise. And it actually makes water edges really valuable. So it's not a bad thing. at all. So I'm gonna do something a little bit awkward. I'm gonna go ahead and just do Edgar's checks. So my reasoning behind doing Edgar's checks is I have that strength +2 Esper on him. So if I can get it, basically if I can get levels and start getting, dragons, other stuff, it's a really good time for me to do that. Hey, Nightshade. Appreciate the good luck. Yeah, at this point, my offense is pretty much settled for endgame. So I'm just looking for as much gas as I can find. Eddie Gal, Strago, and Redacted. Fair enough. So my thought here is that I can learn everything that I need to and turn Go-Go into my utility mage. So I grabbed the extra stuff there not because it was like critical, but I did that just because I might need a little bit more money for skins. There is going to be a point where I want to get Ice 3 on Gal so that he has a function. I don't need him to have a strong function, but I need him to be like reasonably functional. So that Strago is pretty much good because of the Ice 3. He's had that Magic Plus for long enough that there's not a whole lot to worry about there. Hey, Lily. Trails are been helpful so far. So that's why I bought the 2 or 3 fire schemes, just in case I come into a boss that's just easier to beat. I figured you'd appreciate that. Realm is most likely going to lead to a character of this group. Why are there toilet medallions? Sorry, that's the so there's the toilet tumble. So what Fitz hands out at the end of each week is the wooden toilet medals. So it's a nod towards what Fitz is doing. But that is a fair question. Why am I doing that? I just thought it was funny more than anything. Yeah, that's the replacement for Underground with the Atma series. Your time is 1:43. I mean, 1:43 is a good time. The thing that is probably going to be most different is me leaning into that Magic Plus Esper. Me having Magic Plus early is going to let me go really fast through the suit. I don't even have any particular like need or concern when it comes to figuring out what that guy had. So I can guarantee this kill with the next turn on Straga. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take advantage of it. Yeah, this is all Strago magic +2. He's already gotten what, 40 points of magic. Probably could have done fast stairs there, but that's all right. Yeah, I'm pretty much online in all ways. So that Ragnarok actually helps me quite a bit. I do have the option to do Ragnarok with Atma weapon. Yeah, career day with the way that works, where you can like get abilities and just probably, I mean, just it's too easy to find stuff that's helpful in career day, but you also need it. What I'd be interested in finding is like Vanish or something that actually just lets me kind of fly through the enemy here. Fiery and Joe. Man, it's a pretty good record. Both those guys are really good, so nothing to be ashamed of. Having those two is the only ones you haven't beaten. So the reason I did it differently was because I was just looking to see what was on the throne and I wanted to buy more stuff. That's good. I don't need to loot very hard here. If you want to increase scaling, you want to do some of the free checks early. But if you don't want to increase scaling, you just want easier bosses, then you have to like figure out how to just balance everything out. Let's see. Genji Glove. I don't think I saw Genji Glove so far. I do have a Strength +2 Esper, so like I'm gonna get my money's worth out of that. Honestly, does Moogle Cup still not add scaling? So it adds level scaling. It does not increase HP scaling. So like enemies will have less HP, but they'll still hit a little bit harder. Yeah, it's pretty close to done. If I probably used Ice 3, I might have finished it. Yeah, I was kind of banking on if I could get downhill quickly with what I have. It's not quite ideal. Alright. So I'm going to take a shot here. Helmet, so we're fighting for an offering. So I like doing Coliseum for stuff like offerings. because it usually ends up being quicker than having to chase like monster in boxes or something else. Moogle Cup in particular, where everything's visible, it's a lot more advantageous to actually buy smaller stuff and use Coliseum, because it will give you that advantage of finding stuff that other people won't find. So I'm going to take advantage of this. So I kind of need to get Ice 3 or something on Gal. I'm going to take advantage of this fight to learn Ice 3. So whenever you are about to do a dragon fight, always think about what levels or what spells you can learn, in case there's something that like would be really helpful. Wrong order. Okay. I mean, Strago probably finishes the fight after that proc. Yeah. Yes, Amaro always does really good in Coliseum, so it's definitely worth the time. And I solved my ice shield problem. So if it wasn't obvious what my like game plan is here, I'm gonna make Strago basically do max damage schemes. And then once he can do max damage schemes, then I'll like start messing with my builds a little bit more. Gal's just gonna learn utility magic until I decide otherwise. Right now I'm doing really well because he's hitting a bunch of weaknesses. All right. Don't love that I have to do this, but so my hope and dream here is that I can get enough levels for Edgar that I basically get him going with the Atma weapon off of doing this check now. And also Espers. This is a really good fight for this group. Anytime you can just one-shot things with Skeens, like Skeens are the fastest attack other than like, actually there's not a lot faster than Skeens, put it that way. If you have it, you might as well use them. Yeah, I was gonna say, in the back of my mind, I was thinking is GP Rain faster than Bolt Edge, but I think it's actually Bolt Edge in this case, or any of the GP or any of the schemes probably. So the other thing that I set up there is Edgar being able to do offering Atma, and I did that so that if he ends up needing to use offering, like he could do a lot of damage and spike something if he has to, like a good single target fight. And then of course here's this, but I have the answer. Yeah, I'm at cruising speed at this point. Mostly because I just have all this extra ammunition. All these levels, all the strength and everything. It's actually a lesson that a lot of people probably don't learn. Actually, you know what? I can't do that. It is French vanilla. So I'm hoping there's 3 espers up here. That is not an esper shape thing, but it's alright. Actually, what last week's so in the like Ultima division, last week was really decided by people who went to FC and got a huge like boost up here. Minotaur's in the top of Fort Tower. Am I looking to get Eddie on Octo Atma? Not necessarily. If a Genji Glove presents itself, I'd be fine with it. But if I'm going to try to get Octo Atma, then I'm really sacrificing a lot of his defense. Which means that I probably need to find one more thing. Vanish would probably be the best thing, best way to solve that problem. So that I can banish him and then just let him go downhill without taking damage. Otherwise, I'll need like Cure 3 or something else. I mean, I have Life 2, which, like, yeah, people will say, oh, yeah, Phantom. So multi-summon is on in Moogle Cup. That is a fair point. Let's see. That's okay. So the idea about putting Reflect on him is that he'll waste those turns and not beat up Edgar. I need Edgar to do as much damage as possible here. So I want him to waste his turns hitting himself. Even if he heals, I'll out damage him in the end. So that was the whole idea behind Reflect. In vanilla, like when he does Reflect, he'll bounce tier 3 spells off of himself. You don't have to worry about that Worlds Collide because of ability scaling. So he'll use higher level, abilities like Flare Star for Fire 3, which don't reflect. That's why like Bolt Edge didn't reflect. All those things didn't reflect. And it's because of the ability scaling and just the way those specific abilities work. Let's see. So Gal. Actually, you know what? So I'm sacrificing a little bit of power with Strago here. The idea behind it is Strago's basically good as he is. He'll do max damage for a lot of things. So if I get his speed up, then he'll be zooming for in-game. And that's probably more beneficial to me at this point. Unfortunately, water's a little bit slower just because it traverses the screen. Cure 2 on Strago means Cure 2 on Gogo, which is another like helpful thing. So all the mechanical bosses are weak against water. So again, just a little helpful tidbit. Tunnel armor, drills, or sorry, cranes. Alright, so I'm at 14 checks. I didn't mean to go World of Ruin, but since I'm here. Like I said, I really didn't mean to go here. It was just... Actually, you know what? Here's one thing to look at. You noped out before the end of FC. I mean, I wouldn't blame you for noping out of FC if you already had to unlock, though. Well, that's somewhat unfortunate, I guess. So I do have those fire rods. I have believe an ice rod, and then I have all that ice 3. So one thing that I can do here, and is a good idea, I think, is me checking Fanac's tower. I have a pretty big magic advantage. So this is equal to 3 checks. I'm at 15 right now. This will get me to 18 when I'm done. I'll do the dragon while I'm here. And then I have the option, and I'll probably take it, to do the front 2 of Magitech. And then if the front 2 of Magitech don't lead me to an answer, then I'll probably do Cave on the Belt. I'm guaranteed to Esper out of this, so I have... After I'm done with this, basically 3 checks to get unlocked. Without, like, going over on my skip number. So I'm kind of taking advantage of my power to just do a lot of checks quickly, knowing that it'll get me going just so fast that I'll have unlocked, skip, everything. I'll just be able to go. Flame shield and stab stick. The other advantage of having that magic plus on Gao is that he becomes viable by himself with that ice 3. So now that he's had that magic plus 2 Esper for a while, he'll actually be okay if I pair him with Gogo in the lanes in before Kafka. So that's part of the math that I'm doing here. I swear I had fire. I don't have fire. So, as much as I like Flame Shield... Oh wait. I actually can do that. Forgot I had Fire Rod. Yeah, I even said, hey, I have Fire Rod, but... I could have broken the shield, but with the Flame Rod in hand, I could just go. Save myself a near miss there. That was a little messy because I, like, panicked, tried to get my shield out, and then it's like, oh, well, you have a Fire Rod literally right in front of you. So, I do have Cure 2. I'm going to heal here, just because I don't want to take the risk. If this happens to be Dirt Dragon, there's a few, like, things that are just strong enough now that would be a little painful. This isn't one of them. Yeah, like I said, that gal's starting to pick up steam here. I mean, 6,000 hitting a weakness when you've had a Magic Plus Esper isn't great, but I mean, if he hits for 3 or 4 grand, that's good enough to get me through KT. All right, so I'm gonna walk out of here 7-7. This can only be a character at the character or Esper at the bottom of this. So like I'm guaranteed to get progression. I have 1 solitary Warpstone, which might be unfortunate before it's all said and done, but so you could probably make the case that it wouldn't be a bad idea to do the back half of Magitech here, but I'm not even considering it. I'm just trying to do the front 2 and warp out. I'd rather do Cave on the Veldt, if you gave me the option, than the back half of Magitech here. Again, the goal is really just where can I find 2 Espers in the next 3 checks. So obviously 2 Magitech checks together are the fastest to like cluster together. But then after that, I have a peakable Cave on the Veldt check. My 4th like best check here is probably Owser's. Cave on the Veldt. How do you know if it's an Esper or dead? So it'll actually be the Esper Stone if it's an Esper, or it'll be like a Ghost, Soldier, whatever if it's a dead check. I am a little interested in how strong Edgar's gotten, so I'm going to let him swing first here. He's good. So the thing that influences Atma damage the most is levels. So that Edgar, he's not gonna full clear by himself right now. Actually, like Straga's damage potential is actually quite a bit higher than Edgar's right at this moment. I might send Edgar down the middle path to see if I can get him a few extra levels. Oops, I didn't do that. Probably should have just walked by. So not exactly ideal here that oh. Well, worked out. I was gonna say not ideal to get fish here, but I'll take it. Yeah, fast fish is good fish. Esper? Not an Esper. Let's see. I have one warp stone. Alright, so since I've used my one warp stone, unfortunately I probably do have to do this. So worst case scenario, I may have to save scum this and just go back. I don't really have any interest in the boss fight if it's not progression for me. Which the only progression is an Esper. Oops. Bonking a little bit. This is just ridiculous pace though. Like for like from a Moogle point of view, I would say like anything around 3 minutes a check is actually really, really good. Me being closer to like 2 is just ridiculous. I'm really cruising. I mean, it helps that I have as much damage as I do, but that's not a benchmark to shoot for. I'd say anything around 3 minutes. If you can get 20 checks in an hour, like that's actually a really good time. So this is another one where I'm gonna go ahead and take advantage of his weaknesses to. So I'm letting ATB run a little bit here, just because the fastest way through this fight is go-go to mimic water edges. I didn't want to have too much dead time in this fight. So I'm being a little bit more aggressive with my ATB. Try to go as fast as possible at this point. Unfortunately, that Berserk came a little too late. Alright, talk to Interceptor, so the seed's validated. I'm gonna look in the relic shop for Atlas Armlet or Hero Ring. Take Marvel Shoes, but I won't like it. Marvel Shoes are Haste, Regen, Safe, and Shell, all in one relic. Challenge accepted. Yeah, I mean, if you want to show up, I'll do what I need to do here. So you can see that Straga is actually starting to pick up speed a little bit. Like his ATB is going respectably at this point. He's faster than Go-Go probably with the running shoes. What I really like about this strategy though, is that Edgar will now have, he'll be closer to max HP all the time with Regen on. Oops. Alright, so statues, we're getting... So I usually do weakest party on the left side. And the reason why is because if something goes wrong, you want to be able to reset and come out as quickly as possible. So weakest party on the left allows you to do that, especially if you have like a save outside. I know I didn't actually save outside, but yeah, I don't have anything to equip. We're just going. So go with throw with Ice 3 to mimic on Gal. Pretty much makes this fight free. So one other thing that I have. So Gal has that what do you call it? He has Ragnarok on. So like I could have done what do you call it, strats the whole scene too. I could have let him be a physical attacker with capture. The only thing that's like unfortunate about that is just it's a pain in the butt to see the capture animation time over time. So that's the best case scenario, is that I got through that and it was basically free. So Gao has no real function in my final party. Oh wait, I wanted to do one more thing. Oh, you got locked too. I mean, that doesn't hurt. So Doom's weak to pearl damage. I'm taking advantage of Edgar being overpowered, but the reason I switched to Illumina and Celeste is just because, you know, chance of getting a pearl proc, basically. So it is promising that he's hitting for as much as he goes. In fact, I forgot to set him up properly. The only thing that's a little unfortunate about Marvel Shoes is that doing the what do you call it? Region ticks actually like slow you down just a hair. I didn't mean to take that fight, but I mean, challenge accepted if they're gonna put it in front of me. So the reason that I just held A there was just to see if I could beat Condemn. If you could bait a counter out, then it'll reset timer, just like Welcome Vanilla. So it gives you a chance to outspeed him. So that's what I was doing, was trying to just force a counter so that it wouldn't do Condemn on the party. So that Edgar is pretty beefy at this point. Like, he's swinging for 4K a swing. It's not ideal because it's what do you call it? So he has the Marvel Shoes instead of like a Hero Ring or Atlas Armlet. But without that, he's still hitting 4K swing. So like, I'm gonna get my money's worth from it. Yeah. The other thing, if you ever get a Iffer fight that you don't like, 3 magic spells will trigger the switch. And you can, 3 magic spells or 5 physicals. And you can run while the transfer's happening, while it transfers from Ifrit to Shiva. So, if you're ever in trouble, it's an option. You won't get any experience for the fight or magic points, but it still clears the fight. You can keep moving. So if you ever get a bad situation, it's an option. It's a card to play. So with this kind of party, I would really expect this climb to be like, I don't know, 8 or 9 minutes. Let's see, Shadow died. So it's Celeste and then Shadow as characters 5 and 6. Honestly, like, Celeste, I didn't even put on that Minerva. I probably could have left the Minerva on her. I mean, this is all fine though. Wait. There, that's better. I screwed that menu up pretty bad. Probably could have been a little bit more efficient, just the way I distributed attacks, but like Strago doing that Ice 3 was overkill. But I mean, you don't get any more Sphere Grid points for overkills in this game. So, I mean, if you have a way to do it and kind of go faster, usually it's in your favor to just go faster. So I'm trying to take Tiger down here. I just don't want Tiger to go wild. It's one of the ways that this fight could go sideways. So I'm going to get 10 hit, unfortunately. Actually the best case scenario. So I'm taking advantage of Straga's like magic power here. Unfortunately, I didn't have mute, so I had to suffer through that. Alright, so that was a really good tier 3, or sorry, tier 2. Only thing that I wish I could have done is I could have killed magic first, but with my Edgar kind of being wild with that my weapon, I had to kind of just make sure I made progress more than anything. All right, so I did about 9 grand there. So I'm doing math to see how close I can get to. So what I want to do here is get as close to 30k as possible. Well, in this case, as close to 24k as possible, so that I can just finish the fight. I knew that Edgar was swinging for like 17k a turn, so like as long as I could get north of 24 on man there, then everything. Or what's his name? Sleep? Oh, whatever. Point stands. I was trying to get to 24,000, and then I knew I was good. I botched that explanation, but that's okay. Yeah, at this point, I'm just trying to go through this as quickly as possible. Edgar's obviously going to get priority. I just want to get as many turns off with Edgar as possible. So Straga's turn should finish it, but I did Gaga's turn just in case. A lot of that climb was just more calculation of HP. Like, I knew how much HP everything has, so I was really doing a lot of damage counting there. It wasn't obvious. I couldn't like say that loud the whole time. Stuart, you should not say that after. That's not a. I don't think that's a fair reaction. Like, my amount of practice and how much I played versus how much you played, it's not apples to apples. You're not the first person that's been in that boat. I mean, the speed of that was really. I leaned into that Magic Plus Esper. So, I mean, if there was a takeaway on this one, it was bad characters to start, but there were Espers, and Espers solve problems. So if you find an Esper, you should usually do most of your grinding after you've gotten 1 or 2 Espers. Just in the off chance that you happen to get a Magic Plus, Strength Plus, Speed Plus, and if you get any of the above, like you're off to the races for the rest of the season. I mean, that is a very like clear, well-to-do strategy in how to play Worlds Collide. Is get levels off of Espers and then turn whatever character you have into whatever you need. I wouldn't. If it was me, I would say that would be your takeaway. A couple other things that are noteworthy is that I used like fire rods. I had breakable shields. I skipped the Super Balls. I could have bought the Super Ball too, but with all of that breakable offense, I could have still gotten through a lot of that with just fire rods and like mimics, ice rods and mimics. Like I could mimic a rod for the half an hour and get through pretty much anything. if you're going to depend on that kind of offense, obviously you have to put a lot of defense on Go-Go. But those are the kinds of things that I think are like takeaways. How best to accrue power quickly, ultimately. If you're accruing power one way or another, then a lot of the other things will solve themselves. Anyway, Lily, appreciate the GGs. Stuart, I'll take what you said as a GG. I honestly, I don't think that you have anything to worry about. Keep in mind also that where I saved a lot of my time compared to it, like I could all but guarantee this. Like, how many boss fights did I take more than say 3 turns on over the course of that seed? And that's where I save 41 minutes. Or take anybody who ran that seed, I probably save 10, 15 minutes on them. Especially of the Moogles. Like, I saved my time, but because I had a lot of, like, I had power for bosses, and I leaned into that heavy quickly. Like, bolt edges and water edges were all I needed to get through that scene. It got to the point where I was so overpowered, I started building Gallop just to give myself an extra, like, person to work with. Yeah, I got in the wrong way in Trench. I mean, there is a reason to go left. If, like I said before, if you have, like, the power early enough to get through multiple grind fights. But the idea being that if you can get, like, if you can get set up well enough, that it's probably better overall to, I mean, my opinion is that you should go right just to, like, get the heal and get the pause. If, let's say that I ran that seed differently and I did my grind fight outside of, like, Zen or South Figaro or something like that. Say I was already level 10 and I had that same setup, I would have went left because I would have had like 200, 300 HP, and I would have been like, you know what? There's nothing that could one-shot me, and I would have went left at that point. When you have the power to, like, confidently get through the seed, then going left is probably the better option for the extra experience. The only other thing that I'll say that's, like, maybe a good takeaway is the way that I did my my routing relative to throw. So a lot of people struggle with throw and going fast in throw seeds. And so the way that I routed, basically getting, so I got my magic plus on Strago to make sure he's viable. And then somewhere in the middle of that seed, I put speed plus 2 on him because Strago has the speed of smell ultimately. And so having him actually go a bit faster where he's actually getting turns, multiple turns, is really helpful. I didn't, like, let that undercut my power because I already had, like, Ice 3, I had Fire and Bolt Skiing, so, like, I wasn't missing anything from that point of view. I was able to route power efficiently, but then also route speed efficiently. That way, like, my character who I was fully expecting to lean into, you know, whenever I'm not using Edgar, like, I need a second character who's really doing good damage. So I was really depending on Strago to do decent damage and take advantage of that as I went. So, like, I did it to the point where it probably wasn't obvious how much I put a decent amount of thought into early strength plus 2 Esper, put it on Edgar, who I knew was going to be my Atma user. I had an Atma weapon from the early looting, so, like, first person that I found that could use it was going to get that strength Esper. And the other thing that I'll say Moogles don't usually pick up on that I didn't do at all, like, I mean, I didn't have Stats Collide on, but I would say that my menu time in that seed was probably less than 5 minutes. maybe 510, 520. You see a lot of people that'll do seeds like that and have like 7, 8 minutes menu. Like I was certainly less than 6 in how much time I spent in the menu in that seed. And like I didn't learn spells. When I went through my like battle menu with Edgar, like he had 3 spells. He had like Berserk, W Wind, and something else. Like he had no functional spells. And it was because, well, I had committed he's a strength +2 guy. Strength +2 and offering, I didn't need to think about him for the rest of the season. That's also why I didn't even spend that much time thinking about any of my other characters as I went. Because it's like I kind of had my answer with Strago and Edgar to the point where I didn't need to even think about Celeste, who's actually a really good character. Realm's a really good character. I could have brought either of them into the party and they would have been more than fine. I would have, for a Moogle, I would say that bringing Realm in over Gal was probably the right decision. I had already committed to Gal being kind of utility and just getting by at the end of the seed, so I didn't want to swap anybody. But Realm was probably a more functional 4th character than anybody else, especially at the timing I got her. You usually don't want to go past, like, your first 4 characters are always going to be about the same level unless you have an egg. Once you get your 5th character, you kind of want to decide who your final party is. I mean, sometimes, rarely, the 6th or 7th character might be worth swapping in, but level-wise, you're going to start lagging because you have somebody on the ship that will drag your party average down. So you really want to decide amongst the first 5 characters, who are your 5 characters you want to take to Final Kafka. So generally, that's what you're shooting for when you're doing a lot of your routing, is you kind of decide, here's my power, I'm going to stick with my power and just go. So, I don't know. I mean, hopefully that was meaningful, helpful. Hopefully there's some tips in there to pluck from shenanigans that I did. I'm still going to run the other 2 seeds, so I'll have a recording out there, but hopefully that was meaningful. Appreciate a VOD review of C2 after you run it. I mean, I've never gotten a 45-minute seed that was 6 Esper or 6 characters, 9 Espers, so I don't think that you have to worry about that. Let me see what see which one's which. Let's see. C2 is CQR. CQR and stuff. Hey, it's not that straightforward, honestly. All right. No, enjoy the barbecue. Yeah, I'll catch up with you later. All right, let me I think I'm freaking people out with the toilet tokens. We'll go with the old Ultras Underground tokens. That's the level of like customization I have in my layout. I'll just swap the image behind my tiny. That's about it. All right. So more Moogle Cup, more shenanigans here. Let's give it a shot. In 3, 2, 1, go. So these are characters. So another throw start. The other thing that I'll just say, so what goes through my mind with this kind of party composition is I know for a fact that Realm's my mage, and I know that Edgar and Locke could both be my physical attacker in this one. So that's a set of things. Other than Sniper, I could pretty much sell all of that. So I'm looking for ammunition to throw, and I'm looking for a big stick to really get online. Like, I kind of know what my answer is if I can get the right stuff to go. I don't need that. So I'm also looking for 4 earrings, 2 Atlas armlets. Most likely, like, efficient routing at the beginning here would be going to Realms check to do Owsers, probably is the first like real check. So I'm going to do a bunch of free checks here with the plan of setting myself up to go to Owsers. With the Edgar discount, like now that I've gotten those water edges, I really want to try to get, I don't want to spend a lot of extra money at this point. Like, I just wanted enough ammunition to make sure that I had a good start. Might regret that, but it's hard to turn down an Esper. Offering may or may not matter. Depends on what my offense ends up like centralizing on. More most likely, Bahamut's going to end up on Realm, because Realm could do the most damage with it because of like her inherent magic power. Early Ilu is really good. Early Thunder Shield is also really good. So anything that's strength plus, speed plus is going to go on Edgar, with him being a Lumina user. I really want Gauntlet. I know that there was some talk earlier about gauntlets and like why would you want gauntlets? Gauntlets suck, but it's it would be a huge game changer if I have a gauntlet on Edgar. I'll be able to power through pretty much this whole seed just with that. So I feel pretty good about money here. So I'm going straight to South Figaro. Another kind of mistake I see people make sometimes is they don't park like 1 square away from the town. End up having to walk or whatever. Like, the fastest thing is always 1 square away from the town and take the 1 step into the town. It sounds easy, but it's sometimes harder than it sounds. I'm going to take True Knight here just in case. So functionally, my mages here are Locke and Realm. Locke is a throw mage with schemes at the beginning here. And then I'm looking to really get a good head start with Realm with that Bahamut Esper. So I'm looting a little bit less because I already know I have Illumina, I have my power. What I don't have is my my defense. If there was anything that was legitimate in the armor shop here, I would have bought it. I'll probably look in the armor shop in both Zen and in Jador, just to see if I can get something. Hero Ring's a great find with the Lumina start. Yeah, the only thing that I don't have here would be Gauntlet, really. Obviously, like stuff like Egg would be huge if I happen to get it, but that's not as critical. So if you're going to fly in World of Ruin, you definitely want to save before you do it. $35,000. So I'm thinking about the Genji Glove, but I'm not going to go out of my way for it. So I want to try to take one fight before I dive into Owzers. The idea behind getting one fight here is just to set myself up so I don't have to think too much. If I happen to find gauntlets in the relic shop, I'm buying those 1,000%. Atlas armlets I'll also buy one of. Otherwise, I'm pretty much good. Oops. Misclicked. So I like taking this fight just as a different grind. It's not going to be the same as anything else that's here. You can actually one-shot these with shoot. Yeah, really good grind fight. I swapped the shields there just so I have Bolt 2 and Ice 2 on Realm. The chair encounter there is the same as the boxes in the room right before the boss. So if you're ever in a situation where you want to do a grind, you can always check the chair encounter, and that could give you a preview of what these 4 boxes are. Do I want to build a murder child? I'm working on it. What I'm really building right now is a murder Edgar. How's it going, Gengadi? Hey, Rob's up. How's it going? So water edge is really helpful here just because it's also weak against water. All the mechanical enemies are weak against water, so it's a nice little convenient thing. So GP rain is a thing. It's an option that I have. Not necessarily my preferred option, but I can live with it. So in the back of my mind here, I'm going for power. There's no reason for me not to go for power. I have a huge advantage, so I might as well take advantage of it. And that's pretty much my thought behind doing this track. There's very few things that could be here that would actually be a problem for me at this point. Water skiing should finish the fight. Or water edge. So if you can sneak dragons in early in the seed, it's almost always worth it. It's a shame that it was for a Thunder Shield, but I'll take what I get. So taking a dragon increases experience scaling too. So like fast fights equals fast scaling equals more experience, therefore get through the seed faster. So there's some math to that where, you know, if you can do the fights quickly, then it's almost worth taking the check sometimes. Oops, walk past it. They scale monster difficulty, but not their HP in Moogle Cup. So they'll be easier to kill, but they'll do just a little bit more damage incrementally. But they still are capped at level 40, so you're it's not going to be any harder than any of the other flag sets. Yeah, some people might say that I've dabbled in Worlds Collide once or twice. I would only look at it if I had a VK or an Atma weapon, and I knew that I was trying to get that VK or Atma weapon online. But with this party and so my Edgar has Illumina, like he's not going to get any help from the offering at this point. Also with Moogle Cup, so the other thing about Moogle Cup is the Coliseum's 100% visible. So odds are, actually, you know what? Speed plus 2 is probably more helpful for her for now. So I like to do 1 or 2 dragons early on, So like this would be a really good time for me to do dragon now that I'm trying to learn Ice 3 on Realm. So like when you're looking to learn a spell, or when you're looking to take a physical attacker and just put him way past scaling, those are probably the best times to do dragons. Like this would be a really good time to kind of sneaky take a dragon. So I'm cheating a little bit here. Not cheating, but I'm taking advantage of my overpoweredness to make this really easy. So the whole idea behind breaking that shield is I want to get out of that fight as quickly as possible. And then GP rain and throw. So if I threw a shuriken, it would have got back damage. Always be clobbering dragons. Yeah, that's Glue says that a lot, and he's right. I mean, that's a really good idea to try to take as many dragons as you can as early in the seed, because then you're so far ahead of scaling. Like my Edgar is pretty much gonna crush everything for the back half of this. So like I've had a speed plus Esper on Edgar for the whole seed. Now I'm getting a strength plus 2. Like this Edgar is gonna be just crushing at the end. Yeah, and it's a good trade to like even that goddess fight, even though it was a little painful losing Ice Shield. Like I'm not depending on Merc strats to get through the seed. So like getting speed is really what's gonna help me the most here. Or getting through fights quickly is probably a better way to phrase that. I know I'm, excuse me, saying words. Sometimes the words don't all make sense together. So I don't have to menu outside of my offense either. That's the other advantage of having this kind of setup. Like, only thing that I have to really do is just look for utility spells like Doom, Vanish, X-Zone, Mute, put them on Sabin, Cure 3, Cure 2. Like, I could just throw random stuff on Sabin, as long as it adds some benefit for the endgame. And if I find something that helps get my power up on the other characters, then they have their own job, like they're already set up and they know what to do. No, because I mean, health is effectively a heal cure 2. I mean, now that I have an Esper on him, he's pretty much locked in to be my 4th character. If my 5th character happened to be health, maybe. But the thing is, I don't like switching my characters around a whole lot. So, which ones are my favorite characters? I mean, I'm a big fan of Edgar. Like, if you had me pick a favorite character, it's probably Edgar. So this is a tough but good fight for me. I mean, at all times, you know, Edgar, Loctera, Celeste, like all of them could use the big sticks. So like, most likely, you're gonna always want those ones in your party. That's a really good grind fight, especially because I can get through it so quickly. I think IO is one of the ones that can be insta-killed. So like if you had X-Zone or something like that. Behemoths are weak against Ice 3, or against ice in general. Oh, well, of course. Sorry, Gingati, my bad. I forgot to say Amara. Unfortunately, a flame shield, but I'm getting through checks so quickly that I'm actually okay with a few dead checks here. Whenever possible, you really don't want to raise your airship off the ground because it takes a little bit longer to park and maneuver. Yeah, my last seat, I started with Strago with Throw and like a couple other characters, like I had Go-Go and somebody else. Like I didn't have an attack command that was meaningful, but I turned it into a Throw like Strago that did like 9,000 damage. So like I was in a really good spot. Most at the end, not at the beginning. But it was mostly because of like just setting myself up the right way. Some in-flight equipment. Yeah, Strago is terrible. There's a really good clip of Gar expressing his feelings for Strago. It's an all-time classic. It's actually a what do you call it? A thing that you can claim in physics channel whenever you need it. So Strago here is a little unfortunate. Amara has his place in the party. It's just you have to have him set up properly to do what you need him to do. I mean, his checks do suck. They really do. So the reason that I went and peeked Fanatics there, just to see if it was a character there, I would have done Fanatics right away if it was a character. Now I'm just keeping that in the back of my mind as an Esper that I could chase later if need be. So, like, my Esper 9 is most likely going to be Fanatics Tower. Zone Eater is a pain in the butt, but it also is one direction. Like, if you're looking for a character and you get a Go-Go, you know that you're more most likely getting another character with Go-Go. Yeah, top of tower is going to be a high tier item. Yes. Yeah, 22. Yep, progress still being made, and a character. Hey, Rabon. Appreciate the raid. All right, well, see, Gingati, you're getting all of the best characters here. There's no way he's coming in the party, though. So I am going to look real quick for Gauntlet. If there's a Gauntlet here, it would be a game changer for me. Earrings don't matter. So one other thing that would be helpful is just literally any kind of armor. Alright, well, we got what we got. We're just gonna go. So I'm a bigger believer in doing a little bit of armor shopping than most. It's not to say that it's the right strategy at all times, but like I just bought mithril mails at 26 minutes, but it's also it's an option. Talk to me about the Save the Amaro Foundation. I thought we were talking about the Yeti High Council. Is that more, you know, a more select group that gets to talk about that? Anyway, how's it going, Ninja? So a lot of my power is going to centralize around Edgar and Realm here. And then I do think that basically Locke's just going to be functional at the end of this. I don't really need him to do a lot. Taking advantage of that GP rain just to get a few kills and go a little bit quicker. Single target GP rain is a decent like way to do some chip damage in between turns, and it doesn't like its animation time so quick that you're not really losing a lot by using it. Let's see, earrings and oh, you know what? So if I'm gonna stack somebody up, I might as well stack Edgar, or sorry, Sabin up here. He has the highest strength of everybody in this party, so he'll be able to get the most out of his abilities quicker. I can probably get by here. Taking a small risk. Oh, wow. That worked out a lot better than I thought it would. Doesn't hurt that Edgar has that strength +2. How many doses of vanilla might I find? I'm still not gonna hunt monster in boxes here. Like my offense is Edgar, ultimately, and Edgar's gonna hit close enough to max damage that I don't have to like force myself to go looking. Even for a character, I'm just gonna take this check for speed reasons. It's progression, speed. Hopefully it's Terra. It's not Terra. I mean, I think everybody has their problem with the fish. Unless they're fast fish, it's pretty much always an issue. It's the one thing about atmospheres, at least you don't have to worry about slow fish. So I'm going to try to get lucky here. Hearing. I'm going to lose that fight. Yeah, I didn't really have a good answer for that one, unfortunately. That's okay though, like it's not a huge loss. I was really hoping for Gauntlet or an egg. He has a 33% chance of countering everything with what do you call it? With Doom. Or any kind of death counter. I knew I was on a multiple, that's why I reset immediately. Unfortunate timing to get stuck there. Alright, well. I know this can't be Doomgaze, so. Yeah, no problem. Have a good rest of your evening. So ideally, I walk out of here 7-7. Like what would work out best is I walk out of here 7-7. I go to like Doomgaze, not on a multiple of 5, and finish that fight, and then do Phoenix Tower to get the last Esper. Last Esper I need. We're just all about the Disney tunes. Yeah, I was counting the Ancient Castle as both an Esper too. Hopefully. I mean, obviously, I'm hoping for RNG to be in my favor here. There's no guarantee that that'll work out. The other thing that would be helpful though is if it was Skull Dragon. So Skull Dragon to get Muscle Belt for Saban. Well, it's a thing. So. You know, I have to do Ancient Castle now. Even if I don't like it. I thought about walking away, but I can't. I'm skipping monster boxes here because I already know what my offense is, and the VK is. If I get an offering, great. I think it slows me down to spend 3 or 4 minutes looking at monster boxes the rest of the way. Plus, I faded like I've already skipped a bunch of boxes, right? Because I've already done what do you call it? I did collapsing house already. I'm not going to do shadows checks. Like there's a lot of things that I've already kind of bypassed. So trying to circle back around and do it now probably doesn't add a lot. With where I'm at in checks, I'm skipping the dragon. Unless it like accidentally runs into me. So there's my offering. I need to remember to do fast steps. I always forget to do fast steps there. So the thing I skipped at Box Weapon Shop was offering. So now that I have Terra, that's one of the things I can go get. Unfortunately, I'm gonna get north of 21 checks, but if I could do it quickly, then I'm not really losing a lot of time. Unfortunately, this is baiting me into like chasing characters with like I'm gonna get more characters because I'm chasing characters, but it's still faster by far, I think, to get these checks than do the other ones that are left on the table. Like I don't really want to do Burning House at this point. Phantom Train I could do. Phantom Train's probably one of the few that I wouldn't mind doing here. So I'm going to try to take advantage of this. I mean, there's 3 checks here. I'm going to try to get 2 Espers out of it. In this situation, it's not so much about optimal check routing as it is just what gets me the most offense the quickest, and like the offering will get me extra damage that I can lean into. Unfortunately, already it's skipped, which isn't great. Yeah, this might end up being a gross amount of checks by the time it's done at this point. Skip at this point would be huge if I actually had any path to finish the game. I'll just say eventually the game's going to have to give me Espers because there's a limit of how many characters are in this game, and front percent only goes so far. It's disrespectful, honestly. You know what? I'm just gonna walk away. I don't want it. It's marginally faster to walk away at this point than it is to just do the check. But like, I have no need whatsoever to do. I don't need check count. I need Espers wherever they are. So as shameful as it is, I'm walking out of here. You know what? Am I wrong in saying this was Genji? Where was that Genji glove? Is it in the other seed? I'm just seed bleeding here. They do exist. So I don't need to think about boxes. I don't need to think about pretty much anything other than just how fast it is to get espers at this point. If my luck was any better and I didn't get so many high tier items, dead checks, then I'd be in a much better spot. I could probably just go straight to KT. Power wise, I'd feel comfortable with it. Alright, so you're saying there's a chance. Yeah, in this situation, I'm looking for peekable items and quick checks. So this is a peekable check. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get something here. Whenever you kind of get in a weird spot like this, like sometimes you just throw everything at the wall, but if you can prioritize anything that is peekable, like at least you kind of know what you're getting. So, not a bad result. I have Mute and Doom coming. I have a Magic +2 Esper. I have a Strength on Edgar, and then I have that VK offering with a Speed Esper on Saban. So, like, all the things are there. That's a really good ground fight. Like, I'll take the 16 grand there for sure. So I know this is awkward. I saw where I was with my HP. Or sorry, not with my HP, my level. And like the idea of setting myself up to be level 40. And then like the next check that I would do in all practicality is probably Doomgaze. So like I did that just so like level routing wise after this train fight, I could just go do Doomgaze and then go. in this situation, I don't really need to think too much. So I'm testing my memory here. I don't remember. I think this is it. It's either last seed or this is a Genji Grove. One or the other, but I'm not sure. Nope. I swear I saw a Genji somewhere. Maybe that was last seed. Do I want to test my memory one more time? Like, I'm 0 for the seed so far, but it would just be so much faster if I had a Genji Grove. Was it in Zen? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter if it was in Zen or not, because it's not here. So this is more like devil you know versus devil you don't know. I know this is an Esper. I'm just going to take it and go. It's going to take time, but I'm not going to do anything extra here. I'm just going to do the top and then walk straight back down. I'm not touching the dragon in this situation. Yeah, this is guaranteed progression. Yeah, it can only be a character or an Esper. It can't be an item. I already knew that an Esper was here because I checked it, what, 25 minutes ago? I mean, if nothing else, I would say that Stewart's going to be excited that he didn't lose by 40 minutes or whatever it was. He's going to see this and be like, hey, it was like 15. Because that's what it's about to be, is about 15 minutes. Like, I'm not going to be much faster than 105 at this point. That's with a really clean fight. It'll probably be closer to 107, 108. Let's take a shot there. It's one way to get physical offense into Fnatic's tower is just berserk somebody. So like if that's your move, you can take advantage of the party at that point. Doesn't always work out, but like if you have it, you know, it's not a bad idea. I can't really rely strongly on Sabin here. I mean, Sabin will be fine, but I can't like solely rely on him with low HP strats being okay. There's two things that I should do. We'll see. I think it was insane. You know what? I'm gonna solve this mystery. I'm gonna find out if there's a Genji Glove in Zen, and at the same time, I'm gonna take advantage of that to get me my snow muffler. This is a little messy because of how I'm routing it. Like, if I did this clean, I would have been able to finish this probably faster than what I am, ultimately. Like, I've wasted probably 3-4 minutes in this seed. Now, routing being unfortunate, I'm not gonna... See, I knew I saw it. Makes me feel better that I wasn't just losing it completely. Okay, statues. So, you're good. You're good. Close off. Her doing that much damage is actually a good thing. So, I mean, she'll be pretty close to max damage on Tiger, on the tiers. I mean, it's a relatively weak realm for this stage in the game, but still getting close to max damage on Tiger is pretty much her main function. And the second function would be locks to do mute. Oh, Edgar's not done to literally what 90% dodge. I don't think Edgar can die even if I wanted to die. So I know no Dune Gaze is on the table. I'm really not worried about anything here. So running shoes offering is pretty quick, but he's going to be relatively weak. Thank goodness it's a weak fight. Somewhat that's the running shoes, getting him going so fast. Not bad for 25 checks to be hitting switches sub-hour. So in the back of my mind, I picked the last two characters. So Amaru and Setzer were on the far right side of my menu when I was loading into KT. That's why I picked them to be the Moogle charm holders. And so intentionally here, what I'm going to do is just hit start and go. I don't need to do any party swapping or organization. I'm just trying to go quickly as I can here. I'll just double check and make sure it's Setzer or Mario at the bottom. That's it. I think that Realm was like 6th in line. Yeah. Yeah, Saban's defense isn't great. Like, even with Pod Bracelet, he took that much damage is definitely not a great sign. But I'm here as, with everybody's ATB filling as fast as it is, I can pretty much keep everybody low HP and still go really fast here. There's no way that hits. Fortunately, I had to do that. I couldn't take the risk there of anything bad happening. It's a shame that Saban. ended up being full health at the end of that. I'll just have to hope he gets W winded at the beginning of tier 3. Even in the back row with safe on, he got hit for 300. Like, I think that's really telling that he wasn't really in a good spot. Yeah, I'm going to blow past my average here. But with that being said, I mean, if I can get around to 105, that's a really good time. Of course, the one time that Saban getting hit would have been helpful. So this is a really fast climb, probably on the order of magnitude like 6.5-ish minutes. So I definitely took advantage of all this offense to make the climb clean. I didn't try to get too cutesy with Saban, knowing that Edgar was good. That's the other thing that I think I'll take credit for here is that, yeah, Saban's not going to do as much damage because he's full health, but I didn't have to worry about healing him, and I just took advantage of the offense I had instead of trying to, like, if I got too cutesy there, it would have been really annoying. Yeah, it's a really good time for how much I had to maneuver around. What, 4 extra checks? Got a 104. I can live with that. Lily, appreciate the GGs. Bengadi. Thank you. Yeah, I kind of. Hey, Jazer. I appreciate the raid and thanks for the GGs. Yeah, that's pretty much the story of this one. Is I had to do 4 extra checks. If I didn't have to do the 4 extra checks, I would have had a really good time. Or better than what a 104 is, which is already ridiculous. Especially, I mean, just in general, anything sub 105 is just really, really good. Yeah, my problem was that I just could not find espers for the life of me. So I ended up going on a friend hunt, and then because it was like, okay, well, this friend has a free check, I might as well check that. Ended up doing a bunch of extra stuff. With that being said, though, I'd still say I don't hate the logic that I used. It wasn't the right logic, but fast logic is sometimes better than perfect logic. 2x Chaos Dragon Aquila as the green soldiers in Captain Narsh. Yeah, that's I mean, You must have been level like 500. Game was over like the second you did it. As soon as you fought those fights. Well, 20 to 35. Yeah, I bet. It probably made the whole seed a lot easier to manage if you didn't have to worry about levels after that. Plus, at level 20, like your scaling wasn't probably especially high, but I mean, with that being said, it didn't really matter what your scaling was after that because you could just fly through the seed. All right, I said I was going to do 3. So I'm going to do the third one here, and then I'll decide kind of what I'm doing after that. But I did want to do the third practice soon. So give me a second to get it set up, and then we'll be on our way. Yeah, 2 really good efforts so far, though. I mean, 2 times what? 101 and 104. Both of them are north of my average, but still, really can't complain. Especially with how much I had to worry about on that scene. All right, I will be right back. All right, I am back. Yeah, Moogle Cup is all set up, so I'm probably giving a lot of good information to folks. Anybody that's interested in Moogle Cup, you can watch these seasons, at least pick up a few things probably. Or maybe not, I don't know. I know I haven't explained everything that I'm going through. So, I mean, for that, I apologize, but I'm just trying to pick out the main concepts. The concept that I think Moogles don't pick up on, or just new players, people who are new to randomizers in general, it's how fast early power matters. I see too many people that are in the Moogle tiers go and try to make do with less than optimal power, not endgame power, and then they end up having to chase it for a lot of the seed. You know, like, hey, I know I can get through this with X. Does not mean you should try to do as much of the seed as possible with X. Like, can get through and should get through are 2 different things. Especially in Moogle Cup, where you have like 100% visible Coliseum and things like that. Usually you have more options and more things that you can go through that would be beneficial. So chasing like more optimal power is usually to your benefit. So with that being said, I I said I'd do one more. This is one more. All right. Give it a shot in 3, 2, 1, go. Another solid start seed. So I didn't talk about this the first couple times that I actually did it. I didn't look at stats all that hard when I flipped through my characters. What I'm looking for is abilities, and in the back of my head, I kind of already know like Mog's a good mage. I know that Celeste and Edgar will both function as good physical attackers. So like when I'm doing that, I'm really looking at the bare minimum. I would suspect that like if somebody's newer to it, I wouldn't expect them to go through it as fast as I did. But you do want to get to the point where you're not really spending a lot of time thinking about stats per se, because stats are really driven more by the espers and the other things that you get during the seed. At least in my opinion, I think it's better to think of it that way than trying to think of it as, okay, well, I have to find the person with exactly the right magic power. Or yeah, whoever has the most by 2 points, that's who's going to do X, Y, or Z function in the party. Super balls. I thought about it. So there's something to be said for Super Balls, and there's something to be said for VKs that are randomly in places. But for right now, what I'm looking for more so is I need to see what the free checks are, and I'll decide what to do after the free checks. So there's no inherent like good place to grind here, unless you're using Jazer's Find the Green Soldiers during Kefka and our strat. It's not specifically your strat, but I mean that's probably the most convenient grind of everything that's on the table right now. But that's really risky to kind of depend on that right now. I need a few more things to fall into place before I do it. So I'd like to buy 2 of all the restoratives, 5 plus potions and Phoenix Stones. So a lot of people would probably go straight to South Figaro here. I have 300 GP. I have no money for South Figaro. So I'm actually going to do returners. I'm a believer in if you're going to do half price shopping, let's have money for half price shopping. So I don't think it's a bad thing for me to do returners, see if I can poke around and find something before I go. Well, those are all things. Apologies to everybody that did the seed and didn't go to returners. Well, there's a fake mustache, so I do have something I could sell. Yeah, what a what a check that was. Did nothing for like the actual stated goal, but with that being said, I saved probably 5 minutes on the seed by going there. So gold lance and dragoon boots. all the things in the suit. So what probably makes the most sense here is that, so I have an Atma weapon, I have an Illumina, and then I have the Thunder Shield and the Pearl Rods. I'm going to aim for Mog to be a mage, Celis to be a backup mage, and guarantee that Edgar's my physical attacker. And I'm going to build my party that way. So the best magic Esper will go on Mog, and the best physical attack Esper will go on Edgar. And if I have 2 physical attack Espers, then I'll put one on Edgar, the better one, and the second one on Celis. Yeah, this is an okay seed. Can't imagine. Well, I shouldn't say that. This could still go sideways, but it won't go sideways easily. And there's the Super Ball I didn't get earlier. So 1,000% we're buying the gauntlet there. Unfortunately, with no actually, let me do this first. Oh, Espers. Forgot Espers. So I have that flame shield. So in the back of my mind, it makes more sense for me to just focus on getting Mog going. This is a scary fight. Scarier than Mike soon. Because he can do Aqua Rake when he's by himself. So one thing about doing a fight here is that I have the access to the 2 biomes. I have like the plains biome and then the desert one. So if I didn't get a good fight there, I could have, I had the option to swap to something else that's a little bit more friendly. Not that this was especially good, but... So I'm partially looking for MP here so that I can get Mog online. So if I can get 5 more magic points and get Mog a tier 2 magic spell, then I think I'm good to just go. So not exactly ideal, but I can make a lot work with what I have right now. So normally I would recommend not doing this. I'm a little too weak for dragons. Like if I get the wrong dragon here, I'm gonna die. But what I'm hoping for is that I can get through this with Super Bowl. I mean, my offense is off the charts for 5 minutes from now. It's just not really great for this. Like this specific use case, it's a problem. And then it ends up not being a problem, but so I'm just gonna do the easiest thing here. This guy's weak to Pearl. I'm just gonna try to get through this as quickly as possible. I couldn't have asked for more from this fight. It's a little annoying that I have to heal this much, but with all those levels, I kind of had to. I forgot the thing. Whoops. Speaking of EXP and Pinata, I would say Tyrannosaurs are EXP Pinatas. Yeah, I'm basically good. Who could equip the VK? I haven't even looked. I have no reason to grind though. Like it was kind of that was a mistake to take a fight there. Wait. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I got myself confused there. I was gonna say, I thought I only had ammo weapon, but the whole reason I came here, well, not the whole reason, part of the reason I came here was to see if I can get Atma weapon online. Jazer's just trying to slow me down. I mean, I'm not going to slow down much this season, put it that way. It's the closest thing to slowing down that you'll probably see. So this Doom has probably about 10 grand. And I do about 10 grand damage. That's why you buy rods, is to just get through checks like that easier. Now, unfortunately, I do have to do Ancient Castle here. With no intel on where character 4 is, this would be the wrong time to try to be aggressive and try to fade this. Because it could literally be anywhere. And there's too many different options on the table at the moment. If I remember right, there were sleeping bags in Marsh. So I don't really need to think too much here. I can just go. This is a much slower start than I've had on the other seeds. Like at this point, I had like 7, 8 checks done on the other ones. Seed solved, GG's. If my power goes out, don't be surprised. It's storming here, so I just realized that it was lightning outside. All right, well, more offense. Mara, use on Illumina. I mean, potentially. I mean, there's not in a million years am I putting that on him before I put on Celeste. Just to be clear. I mean, if I was doing it for the memes, sure, but it would only be for the memes. Who's my Ultima caster? I don't even have an Ultima. Oh, did they? I thought it was just Fire 3. If somebody learned it passively, I suppose it's probably Edgar. I know buttons. I don't know why I couldn't menu over properly there. Oh, forgot. Here. There. They didn't really need to do bolt 1, but if it stops him from doing anything, then it's probably not bad. What are the odds that everybody procs 100% of the time? But I didn't proc that many times. Yeah, I didn't see anything. So a third Illumina. That's a handy little bit of information, I guess. How about Genji Love? It wasn't Genji Love. So if this isn't a character, which I have no idea if it is because I haven't done mods checks yet, then I probably have to do all mods checks and not think about that. Nope, this is a character, so I got my plan. Well, this could be unfortunate depending on how it works out. I thought about using Flare, and I was like, well, let's give myself a chance potentially to steal something. Alright, so Glue, Gangadi, E-Ninja, everyone, my bad. He gets to guard the airship. I mean, sometimes things just have to be done. Like guarding the airship. Yeah, I needed to heal there, so I already have offering. I have an Atma weapon. I don't really need to think too much here. It was 58 grand in World of Rune. I didn't go and look and see what it was in World of Balance yet. I'm probably about to, though. Do I have enough right now? Oh, well, because I already have Sky Render. I got the Strato. Like, I actually have a few things to that point. Might as well just do it. So that's a really expensive but really helpful Genji glove. So the idea here is that I have 3 Illuminas. I have 1 Gauntlet, 2, and 1 Genji glove now. So I'm just going to share the love between Edgar and Celeste. So my master right, this is plenty. So that's the power of having that magic +1 Esper on Mog all that time. I had other options, but the reason you do it is for that, like, so that you have an option to get through a fight whenever you kind of have to do it. I'm not fully putting all my eggs in the physical attack basket here. So not ideal, but if this is progression, I'm taking it. If it's not progression, I'm resetting. Hey, B-Dude. Cruising's one way to say it. I have 3 Illumina, and that's pretty much all I need. I have a Gauntlet and a Genji glove and 3 Illumina, and so my offense is just going to revolve around that one on this suit. quicker than accidentally proccing here. So this is Moogle Cup flag set. So everything's a lot more randomized, and higher randomization means more likely to get better equipment. So like chests, everything else with a higher randomization makes makes life a lot easier. Yeah, I just sold like an X-Cal, a Skyrender, and something else to buy a $58,000 or 58,000 Genji glove. Oh yeah, that's a fair point too. There are less terrible items in the item pool here. I did not mean to do that. Mithril blades and knuckles. I did have tiger fangs. Start this one. I ran into a really good fight though. I ran into double Tyrannosaur, and from there it's like, okay, well, if you have double Tyrannosaur, you're not gonna have any trouble with the suit. So like experience wise, I'm fine. I just have to cruise my way through this and find espers at this point. So I'm gonna check these quick checks, but then I'm planning on going to Narsh and cleaning that out. You know what? That's such a fast set of checks. I'll do it. I'm doing this mostly to set up skip. I know that's weird, but that's kind of what I have in mind here. Uh, 21. So, I mean, I'm at 14. I need 5 espers. So I'm gonna need at least 2 or 3 dead checks. So this is a bad one for me to get. For a lock who gives me the fast weapon shot, like, which I can select whether I get progression or not. So we're rooting for Doomgaze here. It would have been nice to get Doomgaze, but it's not strictly guaranteed or not strictly like required. It would have been convenient though, just because if I got Doomgaze, more most likely it would have been an Esper. Illuminate at the shop and it doesn't matter. That's a one way to play the game. I have an Atma weapon in my inventory. I already beat I beat Goddess earlier with the Luminous. I just didn't proc, which was lucky more than anything. I also had I have Flame Shield, so I could like break a shield to get through things if I have to. And then Mog has Ice 2 with like, I don't know, 60 or 70 magic power at this point. Yeah, this kind of seed, like power, I have options for everything. It's more, can I find the checks that I need to find? All right, that's good that it's not a character. Yeah, I really can't complain when I'm 15 checks at 35. minutes. That's actually a harder question than you think. I think I skip it. Like, if it was a race, I'd really think about doing Moogle defense. But in this situation, I think what I'm trying to do is just set a record almost. Like, I want to go fast. So, with that being said, the fastest way would be this is an Esper and then front to a Magitek. I still have like South Figaro Cave. I have other checks that I could do that are most likely going to get me an Esper. So, like, if this happens to not pan out, I still have options. And if I have to, I could always come back. And that's the end of this fight. Celeste is going to have a higher damage cap, obviously, with the 2 Illuminous, but Egger's going to hit closer to 9,999 quicker. Unfortunately, this is all Espers with like HP and magic boost. If I got an Esper with a speed boost, I'd be in really good shape. I just don't like the idea of doing Moogle defense here. Just because I feel like that would be slower than anything else that I have. BK and shop not worth buying it. Right. This is like a very Moogle Cup seed for sure. Like it was obvious as soon as I went through returners. I think that's actually so. Like talking about Moogle Cup and just talking about like collecting power. I think somebody would jump at that VK, thinking like, okay, well, VK is faster than anything else. But by the time I got that online, got it organized, went back for it, all that stuff, I think I'd lose time compared to where I'm at now. Like, I'm flying. I don't think I need to sacrifice speed for a VK here. Sometimes settled power is faster than produced power. It's probably the fastest way to say it. Well, wasn't really planning on that, but I'll take it. I would say if you have enough magic power, it's worth it. But rarely are you going to have enough magic power that's going to be faster than a really good solid physical offense. Yeah, I generally don't go for gem boxes even if they show up. I consider gem boxes and economizers money. Every once in a while, if I happen to have like Ultima and I get an economizer, I'll use it, but generally I'll take the 30,000 and call it good. The way the randomizer works with the priceless items. Yeah, I've gotten 3 Illumina, and I gave up on a VK offering. There's a VK in a weapon shop, and I was like, I'm good. Might as well just go and do this just to get to the end. Anyway, how's it going, Bob Chat? Oh, I definitely thought about it. Don't get me wrong. But I was like, oh wait, I'm at 19. I can just go straight to middle path. Mog trying to be spicy here. So it's a good thing for me that Mog, or sorry, that Saban learned Doom. So I don't have to think about that anymore. Wasn't exactly what I was hoping for, but I'll live with this. Yeah, unfortunately, like no strength, no speed means that my like overpowered Illumina users are not where I'd like them to be, but I'll still fly through this. I make that sound so negative, like I'm doing like 8,000 a turn with Celeste, like I'm fine, more than fine. Yeah, the only thing that's regrettable, I think, is that I don't have tier 3 magic on Mog at all. Moogle Cup experience has me covered. I mean, that's true. It really is. There, I don't need the VK anyway. Oh, right. I do that just to get the MP heal. It's not necessarily strictly required. Real ballers use auction house. I mean, there's probably some truth to that, actually. Yeah, with offering and muscle belt, I'll be able to get the most out of this. So block, maybe. I had a feeling that was going to happen. Playing a dangerous game here. So my hope here is that what's his name? Curly doesn't do Life 2. So at least he didn't Whirlwind, so kinda okay. Oh yeah, that's really a painful fight in a lot of situations. I think Celeste won that fight. It was close, you know. I think there's like some seafood soup or something going on there, but I think I'm okay. I still don't have any sleeping bags, unfortunately. Oh, I should check Esper's real quick. Fenrir. So he's gonna be my siren. Yeah, that's I mean that could have gotten out of hand if I didn't have the power that I did. Doesn't take much either. Here's another one that's a classic for K2. Edgar blocked, what, 3 missiles out of that group? Don't worry, I'll bring him back. I think that saves unnecessary, but I'm not necessarily going to use multi-summon here. Actually, you know what? There is a use case for it here with Fenrir. But I healed him. He's up and running. He's happy as I don't know, as a Mario could be. I don't know how happy an Mario gets, but like I'd assume that he's good. Let's see, Realms out and Amar's out. How fast did the fastest go? I would say, I think fastest anybody's ever done it's like 54 ish. Maybe somebody might have had 53. I don't think I've seen anybody get under that. I mean, if I routed this a little bit better, maybe. Yeah, Tomasa time trials I wouldn't count, just because there's a lot of shenanigans there. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna let that go. I put him in the back row just in case something bad happened. I could have left him in the front because he had snow muffler on. Now that I think about it. Or wait, not snow muffler. I put the Minerva on him. That's what I did. So if I do this well, 58, but I don't do it well, like 59. I guess if I do it really well, I could do like a 57, but 58-ish is probably about right. If I had sign, just specifically sign. I mean, no Strago means, no speed, ultimately. Alright, how many swings did I do? 7. Playing a dangerous game here, but... Well, my problem is I only have Magic 2 Espers. I don't have anything that's fast. It's funny to say that, but like Magic 2 didn't really help me here. It would have been Any speed or strength esper, and I probably cut 2 or 3 minutes off of this. But no sign. Ultimately, no sign means, you know, you just get what you get. So Edgar and Celeste are protected from anything gross happening. The train didn't really matter ultimately. Like I'll do way over. That actually helps a little bit. That was a really, really fast tier 3 and tier 4. Sabin would have survived Ultima just barely. So I was doing the math in my head after that hyperdrive. I was like, you know what, I should be alright. Anyway, appreciate GG's everybody. Bomb Track, Mike, Jazer, Gangadi, Willie. Thank you all. Yeah, I was just gonna submit them all at once since I what do you call it? Since I ran like 3 of them in a row, I was just gonna like save the VOD and just do the same video for all 3. I mean, that was it was a good get back after the last one where I had 25 checks. Unfortunately, not a best for me on Moogle Cup, but it was a good time. Yeah, I want to say somebody got like sub 53 on that. So what to do? You got another one to go, right? Well, I was planning on doing something. I guess the question is, what's the move? I want to do another one. I'm not doing 4-job Fiesta. Nothing wrong with 4-job Fiesta. I'm good. I don't need to do that right now. Maybe I should load up an Atmos seed. I haven't done my official seed for week 5 yet, so I kind of do need to at least. Career day is faster. Faster in what way? Your actual physical character movement? I'll agree with that. It's like B dash continuously. So yeah, I can agree with that. Oh well, yeah, faster in 4-job Fiesta. Agreed. I mean, it would take me probably somewhere between 2 and 2.5 hours to do a career day seed. And I still don't know the secret codes on most of the classes to really go fast. You know what? I'm gonna load up an Atmos seed. Let me see if I can find one here. Oh, there was a good one. Nah, you know what? I'll do a fresh one.